Python is a general-purpose interpreted, interactive, or object-oriented and high-level programming language. It was created by the person Skeidel van Rossum during 1985 to 1990. Like Perl, Python source code is also available under the GNU General Public License, GPL. So we're going to give enough understanding on Python programming language audience. So now I'm going to go over for the software programmers who needs to learn Python programming language from scratch. And we did some video for Python in ArcMap, and I will put a lot of fundamental, a lot of kind of background information here. So the prerequisites, you should have a basic understanding of computer programming technologies. A basic understanding of any of the programming language is a plus, but I'm a rookie, so we can do it together. So next, why do we need to, what do we want to learn from Python? So what is the reason for learning Python, and what is or are your immediate uses for Python? And define the outcomes from a successful learning. So I did this only for just only 2 weeks, and right now I feel a lot of things I still have to learn. So that's why let's learn it together. And how can you best demonstrate your success? Practice. Practice makes perfect, and we have to do a lot of practice and think. Python basics. So interpret. We have a shell and we have IDEs. So then I'm going to explain a little bit. So the IDE is called integrated development, IDE integrated development. All right. And we will learn the syntax and data types and structures, functions, control flow tools. For example, like if, elif, looping, recursion, etc. Modules and libraries, input and output. So for Python, what do you want? And then there are some basics there. And why do we learn about Python? So we talk a lot. So Python is a high-level interpreted, interactive, and object-oriented scripting language. Python is designed to be highly readable. So it uses English keywords frequently, whereas other languages use punctuation, and it has fewer syntactical constructions than other languages. Python is interpreted. Okay. So Python is processed at a runtime by the interpreter. You don't need to compile your program before executing it. This is similar to Perl and PHP. Python is interactive, and we can actually sit at a Python prompt and interact with the interpreter directly to write the programs. And Python is object-oriented. Python supports object-oriented style or technique for programming that encapsulates code within objects. Python is a beginner's language. I'm so happy to know that, okay? Python is a great language for the beginner level programmers and supports the development of a wide range of applications, from simple text processing to World Wide Web, browsers to games. History of Python. So Python was developed by the person we just mentioned in the late 80s and early 90s at the National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in the Netherlands. So Python is derived from many other languages, including ABC, Modular 3, C and C++, and Smalltalk and Unix Shell and other scripting languages. Python is copyrighted like Perl. Python source code is now available under the GNU General Public License. Python is now maintained by a core development team at the institute, although Guido van Rosum still holds a vital role in directing its progress. So Python features. So the Python features include easy to learn. Python has few keywords, simple structure, and a clearly defined syntax. This allows the student to pick up the language quickly. So easy to maintain. And it's easy to read. Python code is more clearly defined and visible to the eyes, and the code is fairly easy to maintain. A broad standard library. Python's box of the library is very portable and cross-platform compatible on Unix, Windows, and Macintosh. Okay, an interactive mode. Python has support for an interactive mode, which allows interactive testing and debugging for snippets of code. And extendable. You can add low-level modules to the Python interpreter, and these modules enable programmers to customize their tools to be more efficient. And GUI programming, so the Python supports GUI application that can be created and ported to many systems, calls, libraries, and Windows systems, such as Windows MFC, Macintosh, and the X Windows system of Unix. And scalable. Python provides a better structure and support for large programs than self-scripting. Apart from the above-mentioned features, Python has a big list of good features. Few are listed below. It supports functional and structured programming methods as well as OOP. It can be used as a scripting language, or it can be compiled to buy code for building large applications. And it provides very high-level dynamic data types and supports dynamic type checking. IT supports automatic garbage collection. It can be easily integrated with C, C++, COM, ActiveX, Cobra, and Java. So, all in all, so the key we can summarize here is automating workflow, productivity. It can be faster, cross-platform, it's free, industry and open standard scripting language, extend model builder, schedule tasks, standard install with ArcGIS, integrated with ArcGIS and ArcPy. So we already did this. It is a powerful programming tool, but the basic to start play with, and the book that we did was the Python scripting for ArcGIS by Paul Zandenberg. The previous 50 videos we did that. Also, right now we start with this book, GIS tutorial for Python scripting, and then we will go over this book. So this book we start with this 5 chapters. We're going to use Python in labeling and field calculation, and there are 5 tutorials we will go over, and of course we will go over some of the theories from in this book. And then we were writing standalone Python scripts and some interesting things I will show using the Python idle and Python tools and toolboxes. It's backing ArcGIS, and we will play around with it, and Python add-ins. So it might be a little different from this book. Okay, so now scripting and programming. We will talk about what is scripting, what is programming. And scripting is a programming task that allows users to connect diverse but existing components in new ways. Programming language that allows construction of components, objects from scratch, as well as the applications that incorporate these objects. So scripting is a programming task that allows users to connect diverse but existing components in new ways. We can use Python to connect the Arc objects with the data to create new GIS tools. Programming languages allow construction of components, objects from scratch, as well as the applications that incorporate these objects. Esri uses the system language C++ to create ArcGIS software and its component objects. So now we're going to move on. What is an idle? So Python shell, last time I opened it, and if you go to start, I will show next time, all right? So, but we're going to introduce what is it here, and then we will go into detail in our next video. So what is an idle? So integrated interactive development environment. So integrated development environment. Color coding program code. So it's IntelliSense coding. It's easy for debugging, auto indent, and then interactive shell. So let's see. Color coded, you can see different color. So IntelliSense is a general term for a variety of coding editing features, including code completion, parameter info, quick info, and member lists. IntelliSense features are sometimes called by other names such as code completion, content assist, and code hinting. So hold a tab for hinting. Comments are red. Strings, these are strings are green, keywords are orange, so keywords are orange, and output is blue. That is something, kind of the color is different in ArcGIS that we did previously. And Python interface, idle, it's a cross-platform Python development environment. Python Wing, a Windows-only interface to Python. So we did Python Wing. But idle, I'm going to show in the series. And PyScripter, a free and open source Python integrated development environment. So Python shell running Python from the command line opens this interactive shell. For the exercises, we will use idle, but we can try them all and pick a favorite. So we did Python Wing. The color code is different. Of course, we will play around with a little bit. So how to learn Python well? So give the tutorials a detailed read more often than not. Several detailed reads. Each line code does something important. Make sure you perfectly understand what that something is. So do the finger exercises, they help. Never read a code example without actually typing the code into the Python shell idle. So we just have to run it and try it. If we have some issue, we have to try to figure it out. Last time, because of the arc map is updated, it's right now at this point it's difficult for me to figure it out, but hopefully we can come back and use ArcGIS Pro to run it again. So the Python fundamentals. Python is an object-oriented programming language. So each Python object has value, identify, unique number assigned by computer, type dictated by value assigned by user. So we will talk about variable and then some rules. But we will continue. So the variable, it means a name that represents or refers to a value. Can use letters, digits, and underscores. Cannot start with a digit. So we cannot use certain Python keywords. For example, print import use short but descriptive names, count versus C, learn and follow naming conventions. So vary by programming languages. So like this is too long. Alright, and then data types and structures. So data types and structure, type strings, number, list, tuples, dictionaries, and more. Numbers include both integer and floating point types. Data structures, an organized collection of data types and sequences where each element assigned an index number within the sequence. So for example, we have a strings, lists, and tuples. So for the multiplicity versus immutability types. Multiple data types then can be modified. For example, we have lists, dictionaries. In multiple cannot be modified without replacing the original with a new value, strings, number, and tuples. I know we cover a lot of stuff here, and then we will go over to the syntax basics. But before that, we will use some example Python introduction formatting labels to tell you more.